Things aren't so golden with the Warriors. Adelaide's put Phoenix in a spin and Ben Simmons is back, baby. Hello and welcome to Fox Sports Lab NBA. I'm your host, Ben Dixon, here with our very own NBA expert, Jaymz Clements. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Dicko. I'm excited to be here. Big Kev levels of excited.
Oh, I'm excited as well. The build up to the new season has been as long as that glorious red beard. But the wait is almost over. How excited are you for the season tip-off?
It's been a long off-season, Dicko. I am more stoked for this season to start than like your old man's campfire.
Well, coming up, our full court press segment looks at some of the big talking points around the league. In Nothing But Net, we discuss the real contenders and the big pretenders. And we close it out with some MVP candidates in our buzzer beaters segment. Okay. Full court press time, and James, there's plenty of drama for the reigning champs, Golden State. The sun isn't shining on Phoenix, and one of the Aussies I mentioned is on the court, actually playing. All right, we're going to touch on Golden State first. Is the Draymond Green crisis a season buster?
Well, I don't know, Dicko. Punching your teammate fair in the head might be a bit of a trip up for a lot of teams, but probably actually not. Weirdly enough, for this Warriors team, they didn't suspend him, they've fined him. The thing for me is there's two things. It's like, you're a leader here, Draymond. You're just going to start punching on with your teammates. I don't know, you're not Michael Jordan, mate, so settle down there. But at the same time, this is a veteran team. They've won 4 titles together, him, Steph and Clay. They've got a bunch of young dudes. Draymond is the quarterback for everything they do on defense, on offense, same sort of vibes. They will be still very, very, very good this season, no matter what. And look, it could have been a bit of a problem. I don't think it will be, though.
How's it affected Golden State's warm-up form?
Not really. Like, they'll be fine. That's the reason they have all their young dudes, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, don't look up his nickname, but their young dudes should be good enough to ride this through. And they're a veteran team. As I said, Dicko, they should be all right.
Now, the Suns, well, they were seen as a challenger. They had a little hurdle, and that was against the Adelaide 36ers. Can you read anything into that?
You can read into a little bit. You can read into a team in turmoil. There's one start. But they're a team that's being sold. Their owner's looking to sell them. DeAndre Ayton, their big centre, basically was like, right, cool, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to go sign a contract with Indy. Phoenix match it. He comes back to Phoenix. He's just like, yeah, I'm really stoked to be here, Dicko. This is great. I'm really happy. I'm really excited. Jay Crowder, he's like, I'm out. I want to trade. The good thing is, Jock Landale, the big Aussie, he's just hanging out in the desert, just doing good work. Love to see that. But look, they didn't really sort of completely blow up their off-season or anything. They'll be fine. They won't be as good as last year, though, I'll tell you that much. All
right, Ben Simmons, well, he played basketball and he looked okay. Now, do we take the Nets serious off the back of that?
We can, but don't take his shooting seriously. If you saw the clip online of him completely airballing a jumper. But look, Simmons fixes a lot of what ails the Nets, Dicko. It's great. It's exciting because what he does is play defense and has the sort of point guard skills to be the connective tissue for that Nets team. You've got Kevin Durant, you've got Kyrie Irving, you've got shooters everywhere. You've got Joe Harris, our beloved Patty Mills. Patty Thrills, I love him. But they've also got Seth Curry, so this is finally the example of Ben Simmons and shooters and nothing else that we've all been waiting for. I can't wait. It could be great. But the thing is, it's the Nets. They could self-combust by like November. So who knows? It's going to be a great ride though, Dicko.
It's going to be amazing. Well, that's full court press and a comprehensive look at the big contenders for this season through the eyes of Jaymz Clements.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
It's swish time now on Fox Sports Lab NBA, and the Nothing But Net segment brings the man himself who's never missed, Jaymz Clements. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Dicko. They call me the Ginger Dirk Nowitzki.
All right, tell me who's going to move up the pecking order for this upcoming season.
Let's start the East there, Dicko. The Cavs, the Hawks, made some big, big moves this offseason. The Cavs brought in Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz. It's a soft J, maybe. Is it Yaz? Let's find out. But either way, the Cavs, they brought in DeJounte Murray from the San Antonio Banderas Spurs. Exciting times for both those teams. But of course, at the top of the East, you've still got the contenders. The Bucks, the Sixers, they're going to be the teams to beat, I think, this year. They just made some nice moves around the edges. They solidified those rotations. They've got their superstars. They've got Joel Embiid on the Sixers. They've got Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Bucks. I'm excited to see just how good those two teams can be. And I've got a feeling that at the end of the season, we'll see that one of those two teams has knocked off the Boston Celtics in the East.
What about way out west where the rain don't fall? Geez, that was pretty good. But can the Clippers do some damage this year?
Well, you are the songbird of your generation there, Dicko. But the LA Clippers, they're amazing. this year. They're hiding right in plain sight, I think. They've brought in John Wall. They didn't even need John Wall to add to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. But Kawhi, if he's back and healthy this season, he's wildly dangerous. The thing is, we don't know what he's going to be doing because he doesn't tell anybody anything, Dicko. It's just like, he's got the secrecy going on. You love to see it. But come on, mate, you can probably tell your team what you're up to. But the Clippers will be really good. They're deep. They'll be able to cruise through this regular season, just racking up wins, putting teams to the sword without having to really lean on their superstars. And Denver, they've made some really great moves around Nikola Jokic. They brought in the notorious KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I love him. All he does is shoot threes, play some D. He's already an NBA champion. But they're also going to be welcoming back Jam and Jamal Murray at some point, and Michael Porter Jr., 2 stars that if you put those around Nikola Jokic, they are one of the most terrifying sort of prospects going into this NBA season out west.
All right, they're the positives. Now, who's going to be the big slider this season for the 2023?
Well, and the sliders, look, the Indiana Pacers, they're going to be horrible. They might not know it yet. They've sort of started, but they're going to be horrible. And out west, we've obviously got the Spurs and the Jazz, who do know that they're going to be horrible. They've pulled all the levers. They're getting out of the stakes of this year and just going, right, that's it. Pack her up, boys. We're going to get through this 82-game season and not be very good. That's the way they're going to go. But the vibe for me out east as well, keep an eye on Chicago and Charlotte. If something goes a little bit awry with some of their stars, like it already has with LaMelo and the Hornets, they could also decide to just pull the pin and just go, right, that's it for this season, off we go. Same with Portland in the West as well. If one of their guys goes down, Dame, Jeremy Grant, could be all over Red Rover.
Well, it's going to be a race to the bottom for the front runner, and that is in the Wembanyama Stakes. Tell us about this man.
Well, that's why everyone's tanking, Dicko. They're like, right, who's this giant 7'4" French amazing prospect? And it's Victor Wembanyama. So he's an absolute, he's basically the best prospect we've seen since LeBron. He's going to be incredible. And that's why these teams are just like full steam ahead. We're cranking up the tank. We're riding over the top. We'll get a tiger tank. We're just going to jump in it. We're going to ride that onto the court. It's going to be incredible. And that's what these teams are going for. He is an all-time generational prospect.
All right, I reckon we'll be keeping a very close eye on the Wembanyama Stakes throughout the season. He's looming as the all-time draft jackpot. This was Nothing But Net and James's Movers and Sliders.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
The clock is ticking. It's time for buzzer beaters. James, let's talk MVPs or MICs. That's not the CIA or the FBI. That's most interesting candidates. Can Nikola Jokic go 3 from 3?
I love it, Dicko. It's a big question. Can he? Maybe. Will he? Probably not. I'll tell you that much. It's very hard to win 3 in a row, Dicko. No one's done it since Larry Bird. And there's only 3 blokes who've ever done the 3 to 3 to 3. And it's Larry Legend, Will Chamberlain, and Bill Russell.
Wow.
This is old-timey stuff we're talking about. The thing is, I think that'll hold back the Joker this year is that his team's actually, ironically, better. They'll have Jam and Jamal Murray back. They'll have Michael Porter Jr. It's just going to make the reliance on Joker that little bit less. So each night, they don't really need him to dominate as much as he maybe did last year on their way to that second MVP. So look, I think they'll be very good. He'll be really good, but just to have that narrative going against him a little bit, I don't think he can get the 3rd straight.
Let's talk about Ja Morant. Is he a potential MVP winner?
He is. He's amazing. I love the Grizzlies and I love Ja Morant. I'll tell you that much, Dicko. He does it. Talk about a dude who does everything for a team. They're a young, exciting team with shooting, with defense, with everything around Ja. Look, he's set up just perfectly for success this year. The Grizzlies were really good last year. We were going to try to avoid the sort of inevitable fall from grace from a young team who overperformed one year. But Ja is so good. He's so driven that I feel like he's just such a great candidate for MVP this year because the Grizzlies will be good, they're deep, he's everything that they do and he drives what they do. He's the personality of that team as well. So I really like Ja.
All right, now, where do you rank Luca Doncic and Jason Tatum?
Well, Luca and Tatum. Well, Tatum, let's start there. Tatum doesn't have his usual coach, Ime Udoka, after a bit of an off-season fracas. Oof, not great. Out for the season. But Tatum, look, without Ime Udoka, they're pushing him, Dicko. It's a bit of a tricky one, I feel, because Tatum has the skill. He has the talent. I feel like he needs that drive from Udoka to push him to that top 3 level. Don't know if he can make it this season. Whereas Luca, he is behind everything that Dallas do. Similar to Ja Morant, look, he is the driving force behind that team. They got a little bit better this offseason, maybe with the addition of Christian Wood, the big man shooter. They did lose Jalen Brunson, though, who kind of filled in for Luca. Maybe that just means Luca has to do more, but look, Luca and Ja are probably the top 2 right there that I really, really like the most. But Another one for you. Zion Williamson, the big rig. How good is he? He's massive.
Massive.
He was out there throwing down 27 and 7s last time we saw him, which was over a year ago. Sat out last season with a foot injury. Comes into a really talented Pelicans squad and could just devastate everybody. So I'm excited about Zion as well.
Well, guess what, James? You're my MVP.
Oh, thanks, Dicko.
And
Look at
that
that.
is buzzer beaters. Play just days away from getting underway. We'll be back next week with some more gold from the new NBA season. But before we go, James, have you got a quick shot for us?
Where are we going to launch this one from, Dicko? I think this is a bit from mid-range. Let's go the Milwaukee Bucks for the NBA title. They should have won it last year, let's all be honest. I'm going to say Paolo Banchero from the Orlando Magic for Rookie of the Year. I love Paolo. I think he's going to do a lot of damage for that Magic squad. And let's go with Luca for MVP. I kind of love what he's going to do for Dallas this year, and I think it's his time.
I like Luca as well. Subscribe below to make sure you don't miss next week's episode. See you next week.